Welcome back to the channel. This is your Manchester United versus Athletic Bilbao second leg Europa League semi-final match preview. That is a sentence and takes my breath away. However, let's chat about it. But before we get into today's video, make sure you leave a like on the video, subscribe if you are new, and comment down below your predictions for tomorrow's game against Athletic Bilbao. Now, we've got to look at it in a complete different way. So yes, we're smooth sailing. The door, we had not even got one step in the door. We've already closed the door. All we need to do is lock it, and then we're through to the final. However, I don't want to treat the game like we're 3-0 up. I want to treat the game like it's still 0-0. I want to still see us win that game. I want to go to Old Trafford tomorrow evening and watch my team do exactly what they did against Bilbao in their own backyard. However, it'll mean so much more when United have got the new tifo before kick-off. We've also got so many 75,000 fans in attendance cheering on our team as they progress to the final of the Europa League. And best in mind as well, I will have my notifications on for the rest of the Europa League game for Bodo Glimt versus Spurs, because I generally think there's going to be a generational comeback from the likes of Bilbao, not Bilbao, hopefully not Bilbao, from Bodo Glimt against Spurs, because you look at Spurs' comparison to Manchester United. United have got the home advantage. We're 3-0 up, where Spurs, they're 3-1 up, but they're travelling to the Arctic Circle in Norway on a plastic field. And, you know, Bodo Glimt are going to have that advantage. They're going to want it. They're going to want to be in that final. So Spurs, they're going to have a long night ahead of them, I think, if Bodo Glimt can find a way to score early. However, we're here to talk about Manchester United and Athletic Bilbao. Now, there's been some news about Athletic Bilbao and that Nico Williams and Sunset are not available for this game. I mean, it just gets better and better, doesn't it? You know, they're star players who have been successful for them all season long, aren't available and haven't been seen in training. Whether they play or not, I don't know. But for me, that gives me a massive, massive positive boost about the opposition's attacking threat. Inaki Williams did seem like the more dangerous forward for Bilbao in their first game against us. But, you know, he can't run that entire attack by himself. And obviously, Athletic Bilbao will have 11 men on the pitch, unlike they had 10 against us after 30 minutes. So the way I look at it is that obviously Bilbao are going to want it, aren't they? They're going to come to Old Trafford, they're going to put on a performance. And this is why I say United need to treat it like it's still 0-0. Because if we get, if we score first, right, and defend like I know we can defend, and we score first and it's 4-0 on aggregate, the game's done. The game's over and done with. But, like I said, you still want to treat it like it's 0-0. Don't end the game on a 1-0. Give us 2. Give us 3. And let's just show the entire world who's criticising Manchester United that we belong in the Champions League. Fuck the Premier League. Let's just forget about that. You're judged on your individual competition. I hate this comparison of, well, Man United are crap in the Premier League. They have no right to be in the Champions League next season. Who cares? This is European football. United have beaten every single team and haven't lost to a team in any European competition game this season, right? So exclude the Premier League, exclude the Carabao Cup, exclude the FA Cup, right? Manchester United are in the semi-final, possible final of the Europa League for a reason, because we haven't lost any game this season in European competition, right? So yes, our domestic form has been poor, but in the Europa League, we've been the best team in the competition, right? I don't care what anybody says. We belong to be in the Champions League if we win the competition. And you know what? It's mainly Arsenal fans and Newcastle fans, the ones that are trying to beg the rivalry to still exist between us, right? It makes no logical sense. Arsenal and Newcastle fans especially, right? You'd be licking your lips if you were in our position. You'd be licking your lips if you had the possibility. You see the light at the end of the tunnel, and Champions League football may be yours next season, right? For me, it's an absolute disgrace looking at it from a position in Arsenal, Newcastle, City's point of view, when they're not competing for the league title, are they? The league title's already done. Liverpool have been crowned champions, right? there's a possibility of 5 places being held for the Champions League, right? Newcastle, Arsenal, City, focus on yourselves and we'll focus on ourselves, right? United are probably not going to win another game in the Premier League, are we? Let's be logical. We're not going to win another game. However, you've got to look at it from the Europa League standpoint. And that Manchester United turn up on European nights. And especially, just like how Leon found out at Old Trafford, do not wake up that Old Trafford crowd. Because even if we find ourselves in a losing position and maybe the atmosphere dies down a little bit, if a moment happens, like a goal, or a bad tackle, or a great tackle from one of our players, it'll wake up Old Trafford, and the 12th man like theory will come alive, and that will boost the players to get the job done. I have complete faith in the players to get the job done tomorrow night. Obviously, I'm terrified because you look at the way we have performed this season, because at some point you have got to take our form throughout the entire season into an account. And in the Europa League, yes, we haven't been at our best at times, but we're still undefeated. And I'm pretty sure as well, Ruben Amorim will be saying, listen, there's no pressure on us. As long as we don't lose the game by 3 goals or more, we're through to the final. However, you still treat it like it's 0-0. You still want to go and win the game. Don't give them a reason to have that extra edge to go for kill. Okay, this is our game. This will control our tempo. They're the ones that we have what they want in Bilbao, right? They're the ones who want what we've got. So let's just not let them have it. It's as simple as that. So going into my Predict 11, obviously, Amorim heavily changed against Brentford, and, you know, it wasn't a frustrating game, but obviously we lost 4-3, but obviously we were 4-1 down at one point as well, and it wasn't until Garnacho scored a brilliant goal like he has in his locker, and Ahmad coming off the bench and showing that little bit of shine that we've missed so much since he's been out injured, that United came back and won 4-3. It does feel like a 4-1 loss though, but again, not one United fan cares because it's all about Thursday. So yeah, going into my Predict 11, I will be going for Andre Onana in net. Obviously, Biende started at weekend. I don't see him starting on Thursday. The back line is where it gets interesting because you've got to start Maguire, you've got to start Yoro. However, who do you start? Do you start Luke Shaw? Do you start Lindelof? I'm not too sure, because obviously De Ligt went off injured against Brentford, which was a huge loss. Based on recent performances, I'm going to go Lindelof. Now, Lindelof should not be starting for Manchester United. For me, Lindelof's not good enough. However, Luke Shaw had a stinker against Brentford, and I just don't think Man United should risk playing a player like Luke Shaw, in my personal opinion. I understand he knows how to play with the ball out from the back, but there were just so many times where Brentford were targeting us, and, you know, Harry Amas was being coached by Luke Shaw, it seemed, throughout the Brentford game. So maybe if you've got a player like Patrick Dorgu on the left wing, Luke Shaw will be a lot more comfortable in actually sticking in his own position. But there was quite a lot of times against Brentford where Luke Shaw was stepping out of position and Brentford were penalising us because of it. So yeah, I would stick with Lindelof for my left centre-back. And then obviously we've got Mazraoui and Dorgu as the wing backs. Now, the midfield two is where we keep it simple. And this is where I keep it as Casemiro and Ugarte. Casemiro, European night. He's been probably the best midfielder in the entire competition. He looks like prime Casemiro in the Europa League for some bizarre reason, especially against these Spanish teams. Against Sociedad and against Bilbao, he's looked absolutely incredible. And Leon as well. Let's not forget he got them 2 assists to win us a game for Kobbie Mainoo and for Harry Maguire. Casemiro is absolutely elite at the moment, and I'm not complaining. Obviously, Ugarte as well. Ugarte has been an absolute warrior for us. What was it? He's got... Was it his last 5 appearances, got 3 assists or something like that? Like, he's doing the dirty work, but he's also doing the creative play as well. And for some reason, I really don't understand why a lot of fans don't like Ugarte. For me, it makes no sense. I think he's absolutely class for us. And then, obviously, the 2 advanced 10s. Garnacho, for me, has to start. Now, I was a bit concerned why Ruben Amorim kept him on for so long against Brentford at weekend, but... You know, if Garnacho thinks he can play, Garnacho thinks he can play. Simple as that. I'm not going to complain about it. Now, I'd look at Kobe Mainu, but I'd rest him and I'd bring him off of the bench because he knows how to be clutch up in their moments. Against Leon, it's a prime example when he plays in that advanced 10 position. He's brilliant with the ball at his feet. He's dangerous in the opposition's box when he gets them opportunities. So yeah, I wouldn't start Kobe Mainu. I'd start our captain Bruno Fernandes, who was rested, wasn't he? So, you know, I'm over the moon that Bruno Fernandes actually got a rest for once, and hopefully he leads by example on the pitch tomorrow night. And then obviously Rasmus Højlund up front. Now, Rasmus Højlund for me had his best performance of the season against Bilbao in that first leg. Not because he won the penalty, just because of his individual work, winning his duels, you know, hold up play. His link-up play as well was really good because he was involved in that third goal for Manchester United before, as Bruno smashed it into the back of the net. So hopefully Højlund has another positive performance, because I feel like that he's due one. Obi Martin started out at weekend, so he would have got a bit of a rest as well. So the team that I've chosen, I think, is quite sensible and quite strong. I don't think Mason Mount will start, like I said about Kobe Mainu. Now, Luke Shaw as well. I just feel like that you've got these players to bring on now, and United look like we've got a much stronger and better chance of actually winning games, especially in Europe. And obviously, someone I've not mentioned either yet, Ahmad, you know, right wing back, or even as that right-sided 10. Ahmad is going to make the difference tomorrow, I think. If United find themselves in a losing position or in a 0-0 situation and we just try to slow the game down, you ought to bring on Ahmad, because Ahmad has that composure. He has that brilliant first touch. The ball sticks to him like it's a magnet. Ahmad is absolutely class, and we've definitely missed him, and he's going to be crucial for us as towards our last push towards the end of the season. So it's like I've said, with the likes of De Ligt, I'm really gutted De Ligt's out injured, and United would be fucked if we get Ahmad out injured, because he's an attacking threat that the fans actually back and believe in. You know, Garnacho has the odd moment where he can produce something out of nothing, but he's also very selfish at times and makes the wrong decisions. Rasmus Højlund isn't a threat, you know. I'm pretty sure every opposition team would look at Rasmus Højlund and not be scared as a defender, being like, right, it's light work today. Obviously, he has his strengths, but he has more weaknesses than he does strengths. So, you know, Højlund can battle when he wants to. But, you know, if I was Athletic Bilbao player and I see that starting 11 tomorrow, you want to look at Bruno Fernandes and be like, right, he's the one who scored 2 past us last week. Last week. And we need to make sure it doesn't happen this week. So maybe that might free up some space for the other forwards or other midfielders or even the wing backs if they get into them advanced positions. But we'll have to see. But score prediction-wise, I honestly can't tell you, because you look at the way that Inter Milan played and Barcelona played last night, and over their 2 legs, anything can happen in a European night. So, yeah, obviously, I'm backing my team to win. I think it would be a 2-1 win, I'm going to have to say. But I just feel like what might happen is that Bilbao might score early, have this belief of trying to get back into the game, but United slow the game down, we keep it composed, and when Bilbao are overcompensating and risking too much, that's when United expose them, and we hit them on the counter, and we send them back to Spain. Simple as that. So that is my prediction. I'm going to go for a 2-1 victory for Manchester United, but I could be wrong. Obviously, you've got to realise the opposition at this point and realise if they want it enough or not. And same mentality goes to Manchester United. Do we have what it takes? Do we have the right mentality to see this game out? Because United have bottled it a few times this season when we've been in winning positions and we've allowed teams to get back. The Lyon game's a prime example. We were 2-0 up at half time and then they got 10 men, and then they scored 2 and then score another 2 in extra time, and then all of a sudden we're 4-2 down. And then you look at it and you're like, what the fuck's going on? But obviously, that night was absolutely incredible. So I'm really hoping that United can have another night like that against Lyon where we just win. I don't care how we do it. My prediction could be completely off. I really don't care. All I want to see is my team progress. And I want to see, at the end of Thursday night, Manchester United Europa League finalists. That's all I will care about. That's all I want to see. But let me know in the comments down below on your predictions for tomorrow's game against Athletic Bilbao. Thank you so much for watching. If you stayed this long to the end of the video, leave a like, comment down below, and I'll see you in the next one.